Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, February 27th. We have all you need to know about a stalker arrest warrant from Penn State's campus, as well as details on Title IX lawsuit proceedings in the State College Area School District.
We also have more on national trial proceedings, along with weather, sports, and entertainment. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brendan Conroy.
And I'm Hannah Markovich.
A State College resident is being charged after a stalking incident on campus resulted in a timely warning from University Police. Court documents state that Mark Alonzo Williams was caught attempting to capture a video of an individual in the men's restroom of the Hub Robeson Center. Following the encounter, the individual left the bathroom to call the police before being struck by Williams on his way out of the building. University cameras caught the altercation on tape, and court documents described Williams as a danger to public safety. Williams will be charged with invasion of privacy, assault, and harassment for his actions. A warrant is now out for Williams' arrest.
In October of 2022, the State College Borough Council unanimously passed a resolution to promote safe and stable housing to all renters. This resolution was proposed by Central PA United, an organization involved in politics and community advancement. At a meeting on December 19th, an annual budget was passed and provided funding for the position of a housing specialist. The housing specialist will be the point person for tenants to reach out to if there are any issues with their properties. This will allow renters to feel safe if damages were to happen within their residences.
The State College Area School District has hired a Philadelphia-based law firm to conduct a Title IX lawsuit for a case within their sports program. The lawsuit was filed by 3 parents in August after no girls were selected to be part of the middle school club hockey team. After the lawsuit was filed, a federal judge ruled in December that the girls had not been given an equal opportunity. The judge ordered the district to find them a roster or create a second team. Status updates signal that steps have been taken to build a second team, but nothing official is yet in place. However, the school board has voted to approve an engagement letter with the law firm of Fox Rothschild to perform the audit. Rothschild is a well-known and respected figure in the Title IX world and will be able to expedite the process both quickly and efficiently.
The Center County Board of Commissioners approved spending $28,000 for a contract with Election IQ LLC. The agreement will provide custom software for poll workers and inventory management. Center County's Director of Elections and Voter Registration, Beth Leckman, said that the software will help organize election boards and will be customized to fit the voting needs. The software will also help with training poll workers and will allow the county to do more security for the election equipment. There are currently 88 poll workers for the county, so the equipment will ease the amount of work for poll workers on Election Day. Students are craving some warm weather as the spring break rapidly approaches. Hannah George with Campus Weather Service will give us more details on what conditions to expect this week in tonight's weather report. Take a look.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening from the Penn State Campus Weather Service. I'm Hannah George. I hope you all have had a fantastic day so far. Over at Beaver Stadium, we're looking at a temperature of 37 degrees, a little cooler than most of this February has been as we round out the month. And that feels like of 31 is definitely cooler than what most of this month has been like for us. Taking a look at a time lapse of what we saw over at Beaver Stadium today. Beautiful sunrise, as you can see, and as that sunrise moves out, some clouds are going to move on in. You can see around 10:30 it's partly cloudy out there, and those clouds are going to get thicker and thicker thicker as time goes on. And by about 1:30 p.m., it's basically overcast out there. And right behind that overcast, some precipitation moves in. That precipitation does not show any signs of moving on out as we go throughout our day here. Temperatures in the state today have been in those 40s, 30s range. Places such as Philly and Pittsburgh get into those high 40s for a second, but we're still seeing just 40s, 30s out there. A little cooler once again, as mentioned. And taking a look at that little cooler, you can see over the last 24 hours, the whole state has seen some sort of decrease in temperature. Places like Pittsburgh and Erie, not as much as places like Harrisburg or State College, but still a decrease in temperatures. And that's really only the case for this Great Lakes region. You can see Detroit seeing a 15-degree decrease in temperatures, but places like Nashville, a 20-degree increase in the last 24 hours. They're in the 70s down there. I wish I could say the same for us, but instead, this eastern half of the state, at least, we're actually looking at some winter storm warnings and advisories. And let's take a look at exactly why that is, because right now, at least here in central PA, it's mainly rain, but you can see the rain and the snow are kind of battling it out along that line. And eventually, that snow is going to probably win by tonight. And it'll snow for a little here, possibly. We could be seeing that, some sort of wintry mix, at least for sure. It's going to clear out, but we're still going to be seeing some remnants of precipitation. And that's why those warnings and advisories are out there, because there's definitely going to be icy conditions out there. Definitely not the safest for any sort of transportation, walking, cars, buses, anything. So definitely keep an eye out on what the roads are like before you head out tonight if you have any plans at all. You can see it's going to be pretty cloudy here tomorrow as we move on through this. Overall, let's look a little bit future with this radar. You can see Wednesday pretty clear, still pretty cloudy. Thursday there's a chance for some sort of precipitation, but this big system moving on here, that's what we're really, really looking at. This system's going to move on in and basically cover the state by 3 p.m. on Friday, as you can see here. We're going to be looking at some sort of wintry mix of sorts at State College here at about 3 p.m., but those really northeastern parts of the state, they're going to be looking at snow, probably pretty consistently rain for places like Pittsburgh. You can see the rain is actually going to win this time by Friday night, and that rain's going to push on out, move on through, leave us pretty cloudy on Saturday, but probably no precipitation at least. Looking at what we're going to accumulate here, you can see by tomorrow, due to this wintry mix we're going to be seeing overnight, we're at about over half an inch of some sort of accumulation. That's not going to increase too much. You can see by Thursday, we're going to see about another 1/10 of an inch increase in that accumulation. But by Friday midday, we're going to be looking at another inch of accumulation here in State College. And that's going to hit over 2 inches at one point. By Saturday morning, you can see we're at 2.24 inches of accumulation. Places like Harrisburg, not quite as much of an increase. Bradford even, they're up there. They're not getting quite as much, but a lot of the state's going to see over 2 inches, which we have not seen accumulation of basically anything here in this state this month. So I think that'll actually be pretty nice, pretty interesting to see as we are about to hit the meteorological start of spring here. Tonight, you're going to be looking at a temperature of 30 degrees, once again with that wintry mix and some more rain moving through. We're going to see gusts of up to 25 miles per hour. Those gusts are going to stick around as we move into tomorrow and see a high of 44 degrees, once again with some showers in the morning, but those showers are clear out, leave us somewhat cloudy throughout the day tomorrow. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, once again today we hit a peak of about 41 degrees. We're going to see that low of 30. Tomorrow, looking at a temperature of 44 degrees and a low of 25, getting into the 20s there. Once again, not typical for this month of February in 2023. Wednesday and Thursday are going to look a bit more typical for us with those temperatures of 54 and 53 and decently sunny out there, but Friday, as that system moves in, we're going to see a high of 36 degrees, and once again, that snow and mix moving on through here in central PA. Saturday's going to see a high of 39 as those clouds stick around throughout the day, and Sunday's going to get mainly sunny, actually, which will be pretty nice, back up into those 40s for a second. That's all from me for today. Once again, I am Hannah George for PSN News. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Joseph Dorman with your sports update. Penn State baseball has been on a roll as of late, winning the last 3 games in a row. Yesterday, the Lions took on Monmouth University, blowing them out of the water with a massive 11-3 win, scoring 7 runs in the 3rd inning. Second baseman Kyle Hannon had an impressive 2 at-bats with 2 subsequent runs scored. Also with 2 runs scored were Grant Norris and Tavian Kelly. Penn State baseball hopes to continue their season-opening hot streak on March 4th against Wagner University. In other local news, Penn State won big on the final day of the track and field Big Ten Championship. For the women's team, Rachel Gearing continues the streak of 7 consecutive Nittany Lion women to bring home the 800-meter title. In the same event, freshman Haley Kitching finished right behind Gearing, both setting personal records and cementing themselves with the 3rd and 4th fastest event times in Penn State history. For the men's team, Oliver Desmules and Handel Robon found themselves standing right next to each other on the podium at 1st and 2nd for the 800-meter. Desmules edged out Robon by just 100th of a second. Congratulations to the men's and women's team for a great performance this weekend. On the national stage, the NBA world had a massive game last Friday. The hot Sacramento Kings faced off against the Los Angeles Clippers and what ended up being the 2nd highest scoring game in NBA history. Sacramento's own Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox combined for a total of 87 points, while the Clippers saw Kawhi Leonard with 44 and Paul George with 34. The game wrapped up after 2 overtimes with Sacramento lighting the beam, beating Los Angeles 176-175 to move to 3rd in the West. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Juliana Tordo has the latest updates for the entertainment world. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Juliana Tordo with your entertainment update. This past Wednesday, Meze finally opened its doors in downtown State College. To kick off its grand opening, the store offered a deal that included a free bowl with the purchase of a drink from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Once you purchased the deal, customers also received a $10 credit towards a future purchase. The Penn State community showed up in large numbers and created a massive line around the block. Meze serves Mediterranean cuisine and is located on the corner of East Calder Way and Heister Street. Penn State Center Stage is set to put on another performance this semester. They are going to be performing Into the Woods from February 28th to March 18th. Into the Woods intertwines the plots of some of everybody's favorite fairy tales. The musical is directed by Rick Lombardo and will be performed at the Playhouse Theater. Tickets are available on arts.psu.edu and Ticketmaster for only $25. Following along with the State College theater scene, the State Theater held a benefit concert for Ukraine this past Saturday. Fields reporter Natalie Simone has the details. Take a look.
In State College, a Ukrainian folk band called Korina hosted a benefit concert at the State College Theater located on East College Ave. This event was sponsored by the Penn State Ukrainian Society, the Waskob Family Endowment in Ukrainian Studies, and the Department of Germanic Languages and Literatures. Along with the helpful sponsors, the State Theater announced that all proceeds will benefit the Sister Sister charity, which is sending aid and support to the damaged city of Nezhin in Ukraine. Performing for all State College spectators, the band Korina has been tirelessly advocating for Ukraine and used their voices to share a people's history, values, celebrations, and pains.
Korina's lead vocalist, Alina Kuzma, shared that playing louder than ever was their answer when the war began. Since the war, Korina is even more motivated to spread love for folk music and have fundraised hundreds of thousands of dollars that have already been sent to relief efforts and non-lethal military aid in Ukraine.
Korina's passion to showcase their cultural heritage is made possible by their fans. The band has been told that their music is like going home and hearing their grandmother sing to them or being back in their Ukrainian village for a wedding.
College, Korina, and all the sponsors of the event continue to bring light to the damage occurring in Ukraine and keep resisting Russian colonialism. The State Theater held a performance of laughter, dance, and music, all for the greater cause to save and protect families in need across the world in Ukraine.
The concert commemorated the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, with support efforts still continuing around State College community. The Die For You remix by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande is officially the biggest debut for a remix in Spotify history. The record has already hit 8.9 million streams. The previous record holder was their own Save Your Tears remix released back in 2021 with just over 5 million streams. Before the Die For You remix was released, Ariana Grande had not released music since 2021 with her collaboration on Demi Lovato's song titled Met Him Last Night. This is due to her intense studying and practicing for her upcoming role as Glinda the Good Witch in the Wicked movie. That's all for your entertainment update. After the break, interview anchor Paloma Frount will be speaking with Isabella Leahy, an executive producer for the Center County Report. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Paloma Frount, and with me tonight is Isabella Leahy, the executive producer for Center County Report. Isabella, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
So can you tell me a little bit, what is Center County Report?
So Center County Report is a student-run broadcast that airs around twice a week, but it depends on what semester we're in. This spring semester, we're airing once a week on Fridays at around 12 p.m., and we do a 30-minute broadcast, and these broadcasts reach about 530,000 homes in Pennsylvania because we send our content out to other affiliates in the area, so to Philly, to Pittsburgh, and they will put it on their web, or they could even use it for their live show if they want to.
Mm-hmm. And how would you say, you know, being a part of Center County Report, how does that set students apart from maybe students who didn't participate in the program through college, especially when it comes to applying for jobs?
So applying for jobs, Center County Report is very, very highly sought after. If you tell an employer that you were with Center County Report and you went to Penn State, you are levels above everyone else. They know what quality of people come out of Center County Report. They know what type of training we do. So they know what kind of quality they're going to be getting out of their new employees or future employees. Mm-hmm. For instance, Center County Report has a lot of people that come into our broadcast. We had an ABC News senior producer come in and watch the show and speak with us and give us feedback. We also had people from the Post-Gazette, from Hearst, from a lot of different places that would come in and watch our shows and watch us go live. And a lot of the times, we can immediately get jobs after this. I've personally had a job interview on the spot after I've done a production, you know, done the whole newscast. They watched me from start to finish as a producer, and I literally got a job interview on the spot. So having those connections is extremely important, and doing well in the newscast is extremely important because you can really get a job at our Center County Report. Even with my internship that I got with ABC News 2020, when they saw that I had Center County Report on my resume, they immediately were struck differently. They were like, wow, really? Like, that's so interesting. What do you do? And when I started explaining, oh, we use a rundown, we edit on Adobe Premiere, and told them all the skills that we get, they immediately were loving all of it. And they really already highly regarded Penn State as a university, but this helped me set apart from anyone else. So it's something that they really wanted to know.
You know, and it's such an amazing opportunity that not many universities offer. So what would you recommend to freshmen and sophomores who eventually either their junior year or their senior year want to be involved in Center County Report? How can they get there, you know?
So to get to Center County Report, it's really important to be involved ahead of time. You need to be doing comm radio, PSN, like we're doing right now. Any other shows that are offered at Penn State, even the Daily Collegian, Onward State, getting involved in ways in that sense really will set you apart from other candidates, because when you walk into the room, when you go to Center County Report, almost everyone in there will have some sort of broadcast experience.
Right.
So to set yourself apart from other candidates, because you do have to have an application process, you do have to be interviewed. It really is like a job interview, and it's set up as a job because of how unique Penn State is by giving us this. We need to be very, selective with who we pick. So by doing it that way, we allow ourselves to have a unique set of people. So by being involved ahead of time, like I was a news director for comm radio, I was in comm radio as a reporter, writer, producer,
set you apart.
Everything.
It set you apart from another candidate. Yeah.
Yes, and then Steve Krasik, our professor, immediately said, oh, okay, then you've already had experience. I'm not going to teach you from the start. I want you to be on Center County Report. So doing things ahead of time really set you apart from everyone else. And even if you don't have experience and you're just getting started in things, let's say you're a sophomore and you want to do it your junior year, just start getting involved. Like, enter any club that you can before you do Center County Report, just so that they know that you're really passionate about it and that you want to do this.
And once you get in, what is it, 18 people?
Around 18 people, yes.
18 people, so you're finding one of those 18 people. What can you do to set you apart from the rest? you know, how can you stand out, especially when recruiters come around, you know, and they're watching all of you. And essentially, those are your competition within the school when you are going for an internship or a job, and how can you set yourself apart in the program?
To set yourself apart in the program, you really need to have workflow. Anywhere that you work, whether it's local, whether it's network, anywhere will have their own set of workflow. And with that, I mean how you edit your project, how you put your video in. Are you taking your video properly? All of these steps really set you apart. If you are able to do just the basic things, like not have your camera angles be shaky, or have critical focus on your stand-ups, have creative stand-ups, that will help you have a foundation to then edit properly. And then once you learn how to edit very quickly, which we teach you in Center County Report, you will be off and running. But again, it's the workflow. If you can do all of that correctly, you know, put your folder in, have it all set up, have Premiere folder there, audio folder, video, and you're all organized. Workflow is pretty much organization. If you have all of that, you will completely succeed. But also setting yourself apart means doing the stories that like really no one wants to do, and pitching stories. I sound like a broken record because I always tell people, pitch stories. This is what you'll be doing for the rest of your life. In the networks, wherever you work, I mean, even at 2020, we had pitch Mondays or pitching months where we had to pitch stories, even as an intern. You have to pitch. So if you're doing that at a Center County Report level and you can tell a news employer, yes, I've literally been pitching stories for 16 weeks straight or however long we're in a semester, they will be really impressed. So that's a way to set yourself apart, is by pitching, by editing in the workflow, being organized. That's a huge way to set yourself apart.
Really staying on top of your things.
Yes.
Well, lastly, I just want to ask you real quick, what has been your favorite experience before we wrap it up?
My favorite experience with Center County Report has been covering the Uncensored America event with the protests. I pitched the story. I said, I think this is going to be pretty big. And it's been it was a fulfilling experience to go there and really be in the action. I was one of the only reporters that went out and asked the, you know, I guess, provoker of the event questions. He talked to me for about a minute. He didn't talk to any other reporters. It was just me. So that was a very fulfilling moment for myself, saying that I'm doing the most. Thank you. And also, like, from doing that story, I did it out of passion and out of wanting to cover the event. But I won first place in the Keystone Student Media Awards. So that's very exciting. But again, with hard work and determination,
comes the payoff.
I was working on that until 4:30 in the morning, got 2 hours of sleep, woke up the next morning and produced an entire show. So with that honestly also sets you apart, is the people that will be there and don't care if they're there till 4:30 in the morning. But you also won't be there till 4:30 in the morning. That's just if you got to do that. But setting yourself apart that way by just showing that you're eager and you want to learn and you want to do everything, that's how you will succeed.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. That is all the time we have for tonight. But again, thank you for coming in and talking to us about Center County Report. Up next, Brendan and Hannah will bring you the latest news from across the nation. Stay tuned.
A Florida shooting left multiple people dead, including a woman, a child, and a reporter who was on the scene. A man later identified as Keith Melvin Moses was reportedly riding in his car with his cousin before he shot and killed another passenger. Hours later, he returned to the same neighborhood in Orlando and shot 4 more people. While covering the first homicide, on-scene reporter Dylan Lyons was also approached and shot. Soon after, Moses went to a nearby home and fatally shot a young girl and wounded her mother. There is no known motive for these shootings, and they are being considered random acts of violence. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has not yet publicly commented on the shootings. The victims of these shootings are being honored from close friends and even news organizations. Moses was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, with more charges to follow.
Alex Murdaugh took the stand in his own defense last week and denied killing his wife and son, although he did admit to lying to investigators about when he last saw them alive. Murdaugh is charged with the murder in the fatal shooting of his wife Maggie and son Paul. In his testimony, Murdaugh denied all allegations of his supposed role in the killings. During the trial, Murdaugh said, quote, "I would never intentionally do anything to hurt either one of them." Murdaugh faces 30 years to life in prison if he is convicted for the crimes.
A man convicted of killing 8 people on a New York City bike path now faces the death penalty in a Manhattan federal court case. Habibullah Saipov is unsure of his fate as he mowed over pedestrians and cyclists with his truck on a path near the World Trade Center Memorial in 2017. The terror attack was a result of orders from the Islamic State group. Emotions were high in the courtroom after his father made a statement apologizing to all the victims and their families on the behalf of his son. His uncle was banned from the courtroom after slamming the court door and making an offensive comment. Saipov's father continued to state his hopes for his son to not receive the penalty and to learn from the terrible actions.
A recent Anti-Defamation League report noted a significant increase in the number of U.S. mass killings linked to extremism over the past decade. The number was at least 3 times higher than the total from any other 10-year period since the 70s. The report also found that all extremist killings identified in 2022 were linked to right-wing extremism. A high number was also linked to white supremacy. This includes a racist mass shooting in a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, and a mass shooting at an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Extremist killings are those carried out by people with ties to extreme movements and ideologies. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and at Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.